Yo, 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 what is good, my people? How we feeling today? How you feeling? Hope y'all feeling good wherever you at. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today's episode's very important one. Very, very important. We are talking about how your fear of being seen is holding you back. Yes, your fear of being seen is holding you back. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I fit in this boat. Listen, one thing about these episodes is that I'm never going to talk about something that I myself don't experience and struggle with and trying to overcome it no matter what. But the truth is, I feel the same exact way. Literally, my fear of being seen almost held me back from doing these kinds of shows because I felt, what do I have to say that hasn't already been said? What are people going to think when they see me holding the mic and speaking behind it and sharing some form of wisdom, But the truth is, this is the kind of work I do want to make. This is the kind of work that I want to create. I want to make work that is impactful, work that inspires and motivates people to create the work that gives life and makes them happy. So how do we overcome it? What does this fear of being seen, what does it look like? I would say, in my personal opinion, that fear looks like not sharing your work. Full stop. Like, that's the main thing, like that whole, oh, I don't think this photograph is ready to be shared. I don't think this song is ready to be dropped yet. I don't think this painting is officially done yet. And I'm going to just keep working on it and working on it until I think it's perfect. But the truth is, it never becomes perfect. It's never perfect. That's the reality. It's never perfect enough to share. So then we never share it anyway. It could also look like that posting anxiety you feel when you've been away from Instagram for so long and you have this dump that you want to share. You have this story that you want to share and you prepare it. You write the perfect caption. You got it all drafted out. And then you decide, nah, I'm not going to share it anymore because I don't, I don't want to bring that much attention to myself. I don't want to talk about my work. It's not ready yet. It could also look like being afraid of being canceled, which is crazy if you're not necessarily a famous influencer, famous creative just yet. But when we see people that we admire and we see people that we're inspired by getting canceled, getting hate comments, getting negative things said about them, about whatever it is that they did that, they didn't really do, or people are just being mean, that fear of getting negative comments can also prevent us from wanting to share our work. Basically, getting negative feedback or any type of criticism. And a lot of that times, this fear of being seen is made up. It's literally our mind just playing games on us, and not to say that nobody cares. Nobody gives a flying hoot about who you are. It feels like everyone is like scrutinizing you under a microscope. So because of that, you decide, you kind of like over exaggerate what's going to happen when you share. You're basically afraid of what people will say. That's essentially the root cause of fear of being seen, is you're afraid of what people will say. A lot of times people are pretty encouraging, especially if it's people that know you, your friends, your family, people who genuinely support your creative endeavors. Most times they don't have negative things to say about you or your work. But then other times you're afraid of the people that don't know you and what they're going to say. And I'm gonna be honest and say, like, I even with people that I know, I still kind of, I do feel timid about sharing stuff that I've worked on, stuff that I've done, things of that nature. Not necessarily because I'm scared of what people will say. I think a better way of saying it is that fear of being perceived. I think that's what it is, to be honest. That fear of being perceived. And there's really no way around it. You're always going to be perceived by people. You know what I'm saying? We're always going to be perceived because it's the internet. It's the internet. You're always going to be perceived. People are always going to think what they want to think. But I think what matters is what you think about yourself. What do you think about your work? What does it mean to you? Why are you even doing it? You know, why are you putting yourself out there? And as much as you can say, oh, I'm a perfectionist, it gotta be perfect, it gotta be right. I wasn't about to start this show with this microphone. You know what mic this is? This is I think it's a blue snowball mic that I've had for God knows how long. And when I was looking on the internet of the types of mics that people use, people were using the Shure mic. You know how much that mic costs? That might cost at least a good 2 stacks. You know what I could do with 2 stacks? A lot of things than buy the mic. But I'm not going to say because I don't have the money, I'm not going to record the podcast. The truth is, we have to be willing to put ourselves out there. You're not that important. I mean, you are. Come on. You're my buddy. You're my homie. You're my homie G. So you are important. But you're not that important to where everyone's going to stop what they're doing and scrutinize you. There was an interview I was watching of Kobe where he talked about how he had played a game and he like missed all his foul shots. He missed all those shots. He had a bunch of air balls. He was embarrassed. Of course he was embarrassed. He's Kobe. But he didn't let that embarrassment prevent him from getting better. And by the end of his career, how many people besides true fanatics of basketball remembered that he had gotten a boatload of air balls in his first couple of seasons playing with the Lakers? Not that many people remember that. So you have to sort of be like, if you really want to get better at this thing that you're doing, you got to get over that fear of being seen because it's just you being afraid to fail. You're afraid of being embarrassed. You're afraid of your work, of people not thinking your work looks cool. And when you really think about it, all of this has to do with people outside yourself, people who don't know you personally. And it comes from wanting to have that external validation. But the only person that's going to validate you is yourself. You know, like you have to really truly believe that what you're doing is dope and that nobody else thinks or creates or does things the way you do it. You also have to have that confidence that you are bringing to the table a different perspective. See, being an artist, it's really not for the faint of heart because you are constantly putting yourself out there. You're constantly putting your insecurities out there. You're putting your vulnerabilities out there. You're talking about your identity. You're putting out work that's reflective. And truly, to be an artist is a real outward expression of inner development. It is you growing up through your work. And it's not easy. I'm not saying by any means this is easy, but you can't let your fear of being seen prevent you from sharing work that you do care about, from sharing work that kept you up at night, from sharing work that you were inspired to do and really resonated with you, and sharing that with someone who you never know. Like you never know who is watching you and who is inspired by you, who's connected to your purpose to create. And you holding it to yourself is, I think, doing yourself a disservice Because the people that you're inspired by, the people that you look up to, they do it afraid. They who told you that they're not scared of putting themselves out there? But they do it anyway. And they do it week to week, day to day. They talk about how they feel, they talk about what's on their mind. They create the work that you want to make as well for yourself, but you don't because you're afraid of being seen. So instead, you hide. You hide in the comfort of your home. You hide in the comfort of your office. Your work stays in hard drives and Google drives and all the drives. One drive, like it stay there and no one sees it, never sees the light of day. Who does that service? It doesn't service anybody except your fear of just staying in the shadows of somebody else and of the people who are willing to and who have that courage to put themselves out there. So I really want to implore you, to step outside yourself, step outside of that fear and put something out, whatever it is, whether it's that song you've been working on for years, the mixtape, the book, the blog post, the YouTube video, the podcast, whatever it is that you've been working on, put it out there. Let people see it. Let people celebrate your work. Let people see it. Because the more you do it, the less that fear of being seen is able to take control of your creative life. Because at the end of the day, we're not starving artists. We're striving artists. We're artists that are in pursuit of what our creative voice is. We're in pursuit of our creative geniuses, whatever that is, whatever it looks like. And people who are in pursuit of that are not afraid to be seen. They are confident, they are courageous, they fight through whatever it is to make it happen. Even if they have lack of resources, even if they don't have the vision fully fleshed out, they put whatever they're thinking about out there. They put what they're inspired by out there. They put whatever they're motivated by out there. And they keep doing that until it becomes innate to them, until it becomes something that they're used to doing and that they're comfortable doing. And then when you see them, you're like, yo, I love the way you carry yourself. It's because they are confident in who they are. And it in return shows up in their work. And that's the kind of creative you want to be. You want to be the artist who's courageous enough to put their work out there, even if they're afraid. Because at the end of the day, your fear of being seen is holding you back. And you don't want that anymore. You want to overcome that. You want to become the best version of yourself as an artist, as a creative, and you're going to do whatever it takes to do that. So again, thank y'all for listening. I felt like I sort of rambled in this one, but if you enjoyed the episode, leave a comment, leave a thought, whatever it is, because we're going to keep doing the best until I get better at recording these and better at speaking and being a bit more concise. And always remember that the genius in me sees the genius in you, and I'm always rooting for you. Peace.